Hello everyone from Chengdu. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get from here to here. We're going to make our way from this peaceful countryside all the way to the bustling city center, and I hope you will join us because it's going to be a really fascinating route watching this landscape slowly transform. We're still really deep in the country, nowhere near the city, and nevertheless there are still little figments of city life that are interspersed within the countryside, such as this park here. Feels like the kind of place you would usually see in a city, but we are actually still quite far away from metropolitan Chengdu, as you can see here. There's no escape from spicy food in Sichuan. Even if we're not eating, we still have to look at it. I can't get away from the spicy food. Guess there must not be much traffic around here because people just dry their stuff right out in the middle of the road. They do not care. Oh my goodness, look at this adorable little bus. The breakfast bus. I love it. We've just arrived in a bustling little town, or maybe it's not a town. I don't really know what this place is. There was just suddenly a bustling thing in the middle of the countryside, and we're gonna try some local delicacies. Please don't be too spicy. I asked them not to put spicy in it, but I don't think they know how to cook here without hot peppers. It's like salt to them. 辣的样子。
好，看一下，红肠了。 哇，这分量好大啊！
Here's a nice alcohol selection over here on the windowsill, and here's the inside of the restaurant, and we get a whole table to ourselves. Here's our authentic Chengdu countryside lunch. Tofu and sauce, meat with peppers, and noodles. We're starting to see some apartments now, but this is still definitely a farming community because they've filled up the whole lawn in front of their building with crops. Oh no, we have encountered an obstacle. 这还能走吗? Some of the architecture around here is so beautiful. And as I'm going to show you guys later on in this video, this kind of tradition, if you could call it that, lives on in the city too. There's all kinds of gorgeous traditional architecture out there as well. This place is beautiful, but there are so many hills. Oh my gosh, it's really hard to bike here. These pink chairs feel so out of place here, but I love it. This is art. Look closely, we can see some tall buildings and some construction in the distance.
天哪，就放过。
That hill was a doozy, but once we got over it, we were treated with the smoothest, flattest road that we'd seen in hours. Oh my goodness, even the local park isn't safe from the invasion of chili peppers. Look at this brave little tiny three-wheeler driving with all these huge trucks behind it. No thank you. We are now entering the village demolition zone, it seems. But not everything is gone yet, like this little store / mahjong parlor where everyone's having a good time. Welcome to this giant empty road that is all ours. All empty lanes, we can go wild in here. Look at this, they already put up the street sign, but there's no names on it because those places don't exist yet. These little squares in the sidewalk usually have trees in them, but the trees have not arrived yet, so they've just been filled with grass. Here's a stoplight directing cars coming from a street that doesn't exist yet. Wow, the street sign finally has words on it. All right, looks like we've finally entered civilization. We have successfully passed through the void in between the countryside and the city. But we still have a long way to go before we see any skyscrapers. This is the first sighting of a full, healthy nest of hello bikes. These public share bikes are a ubiquitous part of city life. Welcome to CHENGDU, the sign says. So apparently that stuff we were in earlier, even though the map says it's CHENGDU doesn't even think that it's CHENGDU. So now that we've apparently reached the real CHENGDU, let's celebrate by looking at all the fake pandas. As you guys may or may not know, CHENGDU is the panda capital of China. So even if you don't see the real pandas while you are here, you will be greeted left and right with fake pandas. In Chinese cities, development and construction are happening on scales that are really hard to imagine for someone from the US. I think I see more construction sites in China over the period of a couple months than I've seen in my entire life in the US. We only just noticed there's actually a bike lane underneath this highway bridge. Wish we'd known that earlier because it's really hot outside. Literally just a few moments ago, we thought that we were already in the new part of CHENGDU, but we took a turn out from under the highway bridge and entered a completely new world. This looks nothing like the place we were just in, but it's literally a 5-minute bike ride away. There's new stuff being built all the time, and the city is constantly finding like the oldest, most rundown stuff and tearing that down and building more stuff. So we're pretty close to the city center right now, and yet this place really just doesn't look the way people usually imagine CHENGDU to be. This is a pretty old section of the city, and a lot of parts are in the middle of being demolished. So we can come back in a few months or years and check it out again. It's just unreal to me how a single road is dividing such completely different worlds on the right and the left side. So we've made an interesting discovery on the side of the main road. This street right here is actually about to be demolished, as you can see on the sign in the background. So we're gonna do a little bit of exploring here and look at it in its last days before it disappears. I found this demolition project particularly interesting because they're not tearing it down to make newer buildings, but instead to make a ring-shaped ecological zone in the middle of the city. According to the lady in the grocery store, this place is scheduled to be torn down before August 30th, so literally about to happen. We're just taking one last look at it before it turns into a wetland or a forest or whatever this particular piece is supposed to be. I have to give a thumbs up to the food here. I said no spicy, and she made it not spicy. Believe me, that's a miracle in Sichuan province. Goodbye, about to be demolished street. It was nice meeting you. Coming up next, Furniture Street. Chinese furniture stores are so extra. It's like not even about the furniture anymore. It's about who can have the craziest storefront to draw in all the customers. I feel like that's what they're putting all their energy into. On the left side of the road, we have a huge replica of the Forbidden City. And on the right side, we have some kind of Roman thing. I'm not actually sure what this is. And this place is trying to draw in all the customers. It's got that kind of Roman-looking architecture and also the little Chinese lion sculptures outside. In case you forgot, one last reminder, those were furniture stores. Okay, it's for real this time. City life, here we come. Even though we're far out of the countryside at this point, there's still no shortage of beautiful architecture around here. But of course, just beyond the historic traditional architecture, you can almost always see the skyscrapers. CHENGDU has over 2,000 years of history, and no matter how modernized this city gets, it will not let you forget that. These columns on the side of the road here are in honor of the Sichuan kingdom, which was one of China's infamous 3 kingdoms, and CHENGDU was its capital. This bike ride has really shown me so many different sides of CHENGDU that I never even knew were here. Even though I've been to the city a few times and been living here for a couple weeks, I just had no idea quite how big it is and how diverse it is. And this bike ride has inspired me to want to come out to some of these places and do some more like detailed exploration. But on this note, actually, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning platform where you can sharpen up your existing skills, learn a new hobby, or improve your lifestyle. And lately, I've been watching Travel Street Photography, telling visual stories with powerful street photos by Sean Dalton. I really want to come back to some of these spots I saw on this bike ride and try out some of the skills I learned, both for taking photos and for making videos. He brought my attention to some new techniques I'd never even thought about, such as juxtaposition of contrasting elements in a photo, using leading lines to guide the viewer's eye towards the subject, and the importance of patience. Sometimes you just have to wait a really long time to get a perfect shot of a person in a certain place, and that's normal. On Skillshare, I can be completely in learning mode. There's no disruptive ads, and there are thousands of classes to choose from in topics such as visual arts, video and photography, entrepreneurship, and more. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to join Skillshare Premium will get 1 free month. This offer ends in September, so don't miss out. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. There truly is no escape from hot peppers here. Even wandering in this beautiful scenic alley, I'm still bombarded with peppers and pandas. Seriously, these are the central themes of life in Chengdu. I think this guy's my favorite, Mr. Cross-Eyed Jimmy over here. Come and touch it. Haha, this sign is amusing. If you guys have never seen this guy before, it's a type of fungus, but it's not for cooking and eating, it is for drinking. Supposedly it's good for your skin, which is great and all, but I literally cannot get past the texture of this. I've tried it before. Here is another squishy thing that is apparently good for your skin.
你看，开水泡发就可以吃。
吃的。
对呀、泡发就可以吃。
它是什么东西？
它是桃树的那个胶，那个油。胰里发生了这么多，
可能吃不习惯这个。
非常好吃，很糯很软，哎，可以煮稀饭。
I guess I'm just destined to have bad skin because I cannot. So squishy. The rain has pretty much stopped, so we are back on the road. But then we got distracted immediately by this giant pot of death sizzling in a storefront. It's also kind of beautiful, though, in this grotesque way. Construction is everywhere. There is no escape. But it's worth it for the metro. More metro means less traffic. And nobody likes traffic. I love the juxtaposition of old and new that is all over the city. It's such an interesting aesthetic. From countryside to small town, from old city to new city, this long, long journey has finally brought us to the land of the skyscrapers. This is Tianfu Square, one of Chengdu's most famous spots. This isn't the end quite yet though. We gotta show you guys some Chengdu nightlife. The streets really come alive here at night. There's so many beautiful lights. And even though it's almost 9 p.m., a ton of stuff is still open. Here, you can buy a wig, and you can also get a chicken drumstick. Life is good in Chengdu. From the breakfast bus this morning, we have arrived at the dinner bus this evening. So cute. I've been lured in by one of the many, many storefronts along the street. Time to do some clothes shopping. Here he comes to save the da. Everyone friendly beauty musura. I really love these clothes, but they're all for men, unfortunately. 60 kilometers later, we have finally reached our end destination. That's all for today's video, everybody. We're gonna go have dinner now. See you next time.